What are your thoughts on the newly designed Pilot Con-40? Have you had a chance to test it out yet? Yes, I have. I have a Con-40 here, so I'm going to show it to you. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit again and show you what's going on. So the Con-40 is a new converter that is coming. It's essentially replacing the Con-50 and the Con-20. So it's a same size as the Con-50 basically, and it's a clear plastic converter with, instead of having the big kind of agitator, this big kind of chunky metal looking thing in the Con-50, if you can see that, you know, it's got this agitator because the thing about the shape of this converter is the ink tends to hang up a little bit in the back, so they put this agitator in there, but it's loud, like you can hear that in the mic, right? It's loud. So even when you have it filled with ink and it's in your pen, the thing rattles a bit. Well, to help with that, they still have an agitator in here, but it's these small ball bearings that are kind of caught by this little thing at the end. So I find that it flows very consistently because you got the agitator in there, but it's quieter. It's not silent because it's still something rattling around in there, but it's a lot quieter, you know, that noise instead of that. So it's noticeably quieter. Ink capacity is just about the same. If you're looking at the two, it's about the same size. However, the advantage that you have with the Con-40 is that if you look at the Con-50, it has this little step right here. So it gets just a little wider, and then it gets a little narrower again up here in the metal shroud. This one is much straighter. So if you think about pens like the Pilot E95S or older Vanishing Points, maybe some older Namiki pens that are slimmer that can't fit the Con-50 converter, that have to use a Con-20, which I'm realizing now I should grab. Here we go. Oh, do I even have? I do have a Con-20. Okay. So this is the Con-20. It's similar in size, but it's a bladder converter instead, and you just squeeze it. So, but this one is more of a straight shaft going on here too. So a lot of the older pens, you have to use a Con-20, and you can't use a clear converter because of that step that it has there. Well, the new Con-40 is slimmer, like the Con-20, so it'll fit in those pens that normally require a Con-20. So that's kind of handy, but I'm not sure about the converter that's coming in the Metropolitan, and this is kind of up in the air still. I think this one may still be included, but I'm not 100% sure. Still waiting on word for that. So basically, Pilot is now making these, and they are not, from what I understand, not making the Con-20s and Con-50s anymore. However, there are still a lot of them out there. I feel weird just like looking at my mouth. They're still making, they're not making those anymore, they're making these, but there's still such a good stock of the other ones. It's probably going to be later in 2016 before we're actually going to see a transition. So I don't have like an exact like turnover date, but however, these are now going to be a thing. So they're here, get used to it. Really not a lot of drawbacks I'm seeing other than, you know, because it's all plastic instead of having metal parts, it feels maybe a little bit cheaper, just being honest. It still functions well, and I haven't been using it long enough to really be able to say if it's like gonna last as long or whatever, but it's gonna be the same price. So it's not, I don't really see it as much of a drawback. You know, it's, for me, it's a change, and I'm like, oh, this is so familiar, but at the same time, I won't miss that. So, you know, they're still gonna keep the Con-70, the big one. You know, this is for the pens that will fit it. This Con-70 is still happening, don't worry about that one. But these two little guys are gonna be replaced by the Con-40. So hopefully now you're a little clearer on what's going on there. But yeah, that's what's up with the Con-40.